Hey guys, how's it going? Hope it's going well. Thanks for stopping by. I kind of wanted to do a video today about poverty and mainly just kind of our perception of it. I think a lot of us kind of have this idea of the American dream and this whole, come to America and pull yourself up by your bootstraps. There's plenty of opportunity and yeah, I just kind of want to take a look at that. I think as a country, the only way we address poverty, at least in any way that alleviates it towards obsolescence, is merely through the debate of social programs. And this narrow field of vision is even further divided by categorizing you as for social programs or for tax cuts. And it's been my personal experience that most people are usually for both. Go figure. And so I think we live in a day and an age of abundance, and I think this is shown by this by the issue of where to store all this mass production of stuff. When our society came to a halt due to COVID, we really had a problem with storage of things, either it be on the producer's end or the consumer's end. And yet there's still scarcity here at home and around the world. And so I just kind of want to examine that and just look at that a little bit more. And I think that's the byproduct or the result of the profit motive being the only motive. I'm going to purposely avoid using terms like capitalism and socialism and free market and stuff, because I think that just kind of confuses the conversation. It has different meanings and values to different people, and everybody has a different baseline. My personal baseline is that competition of ideas ensures a better all-around product or service for the consumer. And since our GDP is 70% consumption and consumerism, and it is the government's responsibility to protect its constituents who are consumers. And the absence of these laws and regulations results in things like factory farming, with all these poor little animals just in the cages, and they live their whole lives there. And by the way, it's illegal to film that. However, we live in a society of mass surveillance. Riddle me that. Without consumer protection, we get things like lead in the water. I'm going to link a video down that below by Jordan Sheridan. He's done really good reporting on that throughout the years. And we have stuff like leads in kids' toys, and we have Teflon in all of us. I learned that from that movie Blackwater. And a side note, where's the consumer protection in the business of war, which we all know creates poverty? So anyway, all this consumerism, in mass production, there's bound to be waste. And I categorize waste as the material goods and the stuffs, just the sheer amount of trash that we have or produce, and also the harmful substances that seep into the environment and eventually into our bodies. And I'm going to leave a description to a video of a TED Talk about how to combat the waste in the fashion and clothing industry. It's really uplifting. I recommend it. And I hate to be a cynic here, but it seems like all this waste is just it's the result from profit motive being the only motive. And another way to phrase that is privatizing the gains and socializing the losses. Businesses have come around with a better all-around product or service for the consumer, be it through efficiency, durability, sustainability, impact on the community and the environment, the frequency or infrequency. You need to have it, and these big corporations, they utilize their reach to eliminate any sort of competition that affects their bottom line. It doesn't matter if it's a better product for the consumer. And so it seems to me that we have a less emphasis on consumer protection, which I think is indirectly small business and local business protection, and we have more of an emphasis on big corporate protection, big corporation protection. And I thought that competition was an antidote to monopolies. Then, yeah. I'm going to recommend a book called Manufacturing Consent. I'll leave it down. I'll link it for y'all. Go check it out. It's a good read. And that brings me to lithium. Lithium is used in a lot of stuff, guys. It's in our batteries, your car battery, phone, laptop, computer, all that. It's an industrial chemical. It's used in cement to help it dry quicker. It's put in glass to withstand heat for your oven. It's also in a ceramic glaze to mess with the color. It can also purify air in a spacecraft by removing CO2. It's in pharmaceuticals. It's in a lot of mood disorder pills, and it's 25% of active ingredients in generic drugs. Didn't know that. And guess who happens to have a lot of lithium? Bolivia. And the president, or the then president, Evo Morales, he deeply understood the importance of the natural resource his country has. And so what he did, he nationalized lithium, and so it helped the Bolivian people, and it brought them towards prosperity and away from poverty. And I think as Americans, we can just inherently respect that. Hopefully. And I'm going to link a video, an interview with Evo Morales. I highly recommend you watch the whole 50 minutes of it because it's really informative. But last winter we did a coup d'etat, and we took that lithium, or I think it's going to get privatized now. I'm not sure. But the new president that's now there has a 4% approval rating. And it's my speculation that the president might be more subservient to U.S. interests, and by U.S. interest I mean big corporations' interest, over the Bolivian people's interest. And another example of this happening, a recent example of this happening, is in Venezuela. They're sitting on a lot of oil. Sorry. They're sitting on a lot of oil. But this happens across the globe throughout history. It's kind of standard protocol. And it's just another tool to privatize the gains and socialize the losses. And if you think you're in a safe space from this big corporation competition eliminating strategy, I don't know, I urge you to look up Eminent domain and the Trans-Pecos pipeline. There's the Permian Basin in southwest Texas, or mainly west Texas, and it has a beautiful wildlife and a natural park, and it's also privately owned property as well, but it's an aquifer recharge zones, and it helps keep our air clean and stuff like that. And these people's properties were just taken over to put a pipeline in, and under the authority of eminent domain. Except there was a lot of secrecy in the bureaucracy of it all. And I'm going to leave a link to a discussion of eminent domain and how it affects Americans and Texans in the Permian Basin. So when they do it to other countries, it's called a coup d'etat, and when they do it to Americans, it's called eminent domain. And so in conclusion, it seems that we live in a society that not only creates poverty, but it benefits off that poverty as well. And so we've had poverty way before COVID. And, there's a lot of the death from coronavirus is of urgent importance, and I don't want to detract from that at all. But it just kind of makes me think about why death from the coronavirus is of utmost importance and urgency, but death from poverty, war, and a for-profit healthcare always seems to be put on the back burner. In fact, you're considered a hippy-dippy or not mature enough to understand the political landscape for even thinking that. And I can't really think of the difference, maybe because with poverty from war, or death from poverty, war, and a for-profit healthcare, it kind of seems that, that's a couple steps further down the line. I can't be, when it's a virus, maybe it's because, oh my gosh, I can get it. I don't know. It really makes me kind of just curious about the underlying structure and psychology of the system, and what kind of rationalizations occurred for that. But maybe I'm missing something, or I have a blind spot or whatnot. But yeah, so we live in a system that creates poverty and benefits off of poverty. So maybe instead of it being like, oh, we either cut taxes or fund social programs, maybe there can be some sort of happy medium with that, and hopefully we can just be more open to the discussion and the realities of the world in which we live, instead of just being like, no, that person shouldn't have something even though all these big corporations get everything. Okay. Thanks for sitting through my video. If you didn't, that's cool too. I would love to know your opinion, especially if it's different from mine. I hope you'll have a wonderful day, and yeah, see you later. Bye.